Hi, Lynn Crocker. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Really great friend of mine. Wanted to just have this great chat with you. I know her as Lynn, and many of you may know her as Lynn, but we also know her as Superwoman versus Real Woman. She is an amazing lady who I've known for what? Oh my God, like 6, 7 years, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's a relationship coach, she's a positive psychologist coach, and Lynn has traveled the world for over 30 years. I mean, that's a long time speaking, coaching, learning about relationships and human behavior. She's an international best-selling author, former paramedic, mother of 8, and a wife. I mean, Lynn's motto, I love it. I just love it so much. Relationships don't have to be that hard. I mean, that is incredible. So, I
Thank you
mean,
for having me, Rachel.
You're so welcome. So after all that, I mean, tell me a little bit more about yourself. I mean, what got you into this? Why did you decide to do this?
Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me. I
Oh,
really
you're welcome.
I know it's been great since we've known each other quite some time and been through a lot together, haven't we?
We have. Yeah, definitely.
Well, the reason I got into relationship coaching is because having been in a relationship at the age of 17 for my first husband, I had no idea what to do. I didn't even know myself, let alone what do I do in a relationship. And I think so many people get into relationships like that these days, and we really struggle. It's like we just make so many mistakes and it's all trial and error. Don't you
Yeah.
find?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just realized that it was so hard and I made so many mistakes and I just felt relationships shouldn't have to be that hard.
Just like your motto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I thought there's got to be a better way to be in a relationship and an easier way. And after I thought, okay, I need to learn about myself first. So that's why I
Mhm.
started on that personal development journey. And for my children, I wanted to be a better mum. I think that was my biggest instigator for starting on this journey. Again, I
Mhm.
had no idea how to be a mum. So I thought I'd better learn.
I don't think any of us do. I was saying to someone the other night, if it came, if having being a mom came with a book, it would be a bestseller. It would be sold out.
Absolutely. But the problem is everyone's different, isn't it? Every
Yes.
child is different. Every relationship is different. And
Hmm.
so it can be traumatizing
Yes.
for us each time we get into a relationship and then we get our heart broken and then we get so disillusioned. And I thought, okay, there has to be an easier way and some basic things that I can learn, firstly about myself and then about my partner, and then how to communicate so that it's easier and I don't make as many mistakes.
Right.
And and that's why I started on this journey. And I've realized now that there are some basic tools that we can
Mm.
all learn in a relationship that will really help the relationship be more successful, especially long term if you're looking for a long term relationship.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think most of us want that. I mean, I haven't met anyone that doesn't really want a relationships, and I find that when I talk to people, they always say, I only want to be in a relationship if it's the right one.
Right.
Because none of us want to get hurt, none of us want our heart broken. And so if we can minimize that pain that
Hmm.
we go through in the process of discovery of learning about ourselves and about our partner and what makes us tick in a relationship, I think then it makes the relationship so much more exciting and
Hmm.
intimate and passionate, especially long term. Don't you find?
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I'm curious, you traveled a lot. Maybe you could share with us a little bit where you went. I mean, all these different places. Did you find that people in different countries, their relationships were different? Did you find that they were the same? Were there just with different cultures? I'm curious about that.
That's a great question. Actually, I was quite surprised when I did my world tour. I found that no matter where we went, no matter what country, even if we didn't speak the same language, everyone just wants to be loved.
Oh, okay.
everyone just wants to feel that they're appreciated and they belong and they're loved, and just have a happiness that transcends all areas of our life. Because I found, and you know yourself, when you're not happy in your relationship, it affects your job.
Yeah.
It affects your parenting and the kids if you've got children. It affects every aspect of your life. So most people, when I find this really sad, most people do more research when they're going on a holiday than when they're getting into a long-term partnership.
That is so true. I'm thinking now, you do all this investigation, you go on a holiday, you check all of this, you do your ticket, you do the hotel. But when you meet someone, you don't do any of that. I mean, I've checked their social media, but I mean, other than that, for me personally, I'm gonna be totally vulnerable here. I just trust,
Yes.
yeah. Has that taken me down the wrong dirt road? Oh, yes, it has.
Absolutely. And don't you think that if you can learn some basic tools and strategies that can minimize going down the wrong road or taking a wrong path in a relationship that maybe is not good for you, or the right type of relationship? I mean, everyone just wants that. And I find that we don't learn this in school.
No.
There's no book really that teaches this. And so I thought, okay, first of all, I want to do it for myself. Because when I got into my first marriage, we have a lot of ups and downs, but that could have been, maybe the marriage breakdown could have been avoided if I had these tools in the first place. So when I went into my second marriage, which is just amazing, I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew exactly what I didn't want. Most of us know what we don't want, but we don't know what we do want. And that's half the problem. And so I had a list. And some people may say that, well, that's a bit extreme, but guess what? My husband now is my soulmate. He ticked every single one of my conditions and what I wanted, my criteria, except for one. So how pretty cool is that? And we have the most amazing relationship. We often say, it's funny, when we often say when we're talking, we go, if we could bottle what we have,
right,
then we would be millionaires and people would just rush to buy it, because it's pretty special and everyone wants just that special connection with someone.
Absolutely. That is so true. Everybody does want that. They want that special connection. They just don't know how to achieve it. And I remember you making your list because you were in Canada at the time and you were sharing that with me. And I remember you also saying to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that list that you make also has to apply to you. The same things that you're going to ask of someone, you also have to ask for yourself. I remember you saying that. Yeah, you're shaking your head. So yes. And I think that's really important because, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you can ask someone to be a certain way and not at the same time be the same. Ask someone to do something and then not ask it of yourself.
Absolutely. And I think that's the key, is that we focus so much on the partner. And that gives an excuse not to focus on ourselves, because how can we, it's like, how can we expect our partner to be loving, honest, respectful if we're not doing the same to ourselves and to them?
Right. Now, I know in your bio, you had I had read some of the questions. It was quite interesting. I know there was a lot of communication in there. And I think that's something that is so important. And I think it's starting to become more, I don't want to say trendy, but it's really starting to show up, I think, more and more, is the communication between two people is so important, because when you don't communicate, the other person is guessing, and then you're guessing what they're thinking, and then it just becomes a guessing game. And a lot of times you guess the wrong thing. I would believe so.
Absolutely. And that's where the miscommunication comes in, because we all have such different communication styles that it's identifying what your first of all, your style is, and then your partner's. And then it changes too over time when you've been together for a longer time. It also changes when you're in conflict. So, you know, when you're in an argument or there's a disagreement, your communication style changes also. So there's the pressure of the kids and outside factors make a huge difference to how you communicate with your partner, because we just get so caught up in life and we get so busy that unfortunately these things that are critical get put on the back burner and not as important as a priority.
That's interesting. Now, I know at the beginning you had said that you had got into the relationship when you were 17. And so is that sort of why you do what you do now, because of what you went through then?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think so, yeah, because again, it doesn't matter whether you're young or you're old. If you don't have some basic tools and communication strategies, then life can be pretty tough, not just in a relationship situation, but you think about your work environment. We're communicating with people all the time, and even your children. So it's the tools that we need for life, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why
I think in any relationship, yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I'm so passionate, because I think if we can just learn these basic tools and strategies, then life is just going to be so much easier, and we'll be so much happier and not make so many mistakes and have so many failures, and yeah, it just makes things easier.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, if someone was interested in and perhaps they wanted to inquire, they wanted to know where to start, I believe you mentioned there's a free download. There's something that you're offering.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm on Facebook. So if you Google or search Superwoman versus Real Woman, and also on LinkedIn. And I have my own website, Superwoman versus Real Woman. And there's some great tools that I've developed. There's a checklist. If you're already in a relationship, then you can download the tool that gives you an idea of where you are at in your relationship in different aspects, you know, communication, conflict, happiness, all these things. And that really makes you realize, okay, where am I at right now and where do I want to be? Because you might already have a good relationship, but you want it to be great. That's where I was at. I thought, I don't want to just have an average or mediocre or good relationship. I wanted to have an awesome relationship, a fantastic, you know, great relationship. And so this checklist gives you an idea of where you're at and where you want to go, which is fantastic. And you can download that. I'll put it in the link below. And also too, there's a checklist that I have that if you're not in a relationship, but you want to eventually be in one, then there's a checklist as to where you're at in your life as well.
Right.
And it really helps you identify the areas that you want to work on or you need to work on.
Yeah. Even though we might not want to work on them, but they are important. Yes.
Absolutely. It's like working out at the gym, isn't it? Not many of us like working out at the gym, but if we want the body, if we want the muscles, then it's going to take some work to continually improve that. But the beautiful thing is when you learn these tools and strategies and you've done it for a while, it becomes second nature. You don't have to continually work at it. You just do it instinctively. And that's what I like.
Amazing. So if someone was interested, they wanted to take your course or they wanted to download the free download, where can they find you? Where are you on social media? Maybe you could share that with us. You already have shared a little bit, but maybe a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, Facebook and LinkedIn. And if you just Google Lynn Croker or Superwoman versus Real Woman, I'll come up. I'm also on YouTube with my videos. Check that out as well. Got
Oh, and
lots of little videos. It'll give you little tips on a lot of the things we've talked about.
oh, wow. Okay.
And also too, I'll put in the link below, if you want to just do a free 30-minute session with me, we can talk about where you are in your relationship, or if you're not in one, what you want in your next relationship, and how to, like me, find your soulmate.
Yeah. Wow. I think this is amazing. I'm so happy for you. I think this is an incredible thing because so many people, they need this help. And it's not always just the relationships between a couple, it's also relationships even you have, I think, with other people, because it's giving you sort of a guide as to look at
Absolutely.
both sides. Absolutely. I think this is fantastic, Lynn.
Yeah, yeah.
Incredible. I'm
Thank you
so
so
happy for you.
much. I really appreciate you having me. And
Yeah.
like I said, click the links below if anyone is just interested in chatting more to me or downloading the free checklist.
Amazing. So great to talk to you again. And I think you have a gold mine here with, your website, your program. I think so many people will just have a real transformation in their life once they start working with you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've had a lot of, and I'm very proud to say that I've saved a few marriages over the years.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, through the programs and our things that we do. And I feel so blessed to be able to
Yeah,
help people in that area.
incredible. Well, thank you again, my dear.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.